Hello, welcome to the TV room. David Bradley here. So, as happens, clutter has found me again. Now, this is not like junk clutter, it's good clutter. For example, I have books that I got with some 64 I got recently. Got incredible graphics, which of course helps sell books. It doesn't actually mean that there's anything you could do on the 64 that's quite as good as this, but it doesn't really matter. It's a lovely book, and this book is, and I can't read it backwards, Commodore 64 tune-up. I don't even know exactly what that means. I've never seen this book before. How to expand and customize your 64. Anyway, what I need to do is I need to get back in the game. I do. So I need to test some 64s. I've got a pet keyboard, an old one from a serial, not serial, the 2001 that has the chiclet keyboard. I've got the keyboard all cleaned, but there's a wire that is off. So I have to get to the desoldering and fixing and stripping of wires and getting all that done. Meanwhile, I have two 64s to test. And then, of course, there's these two vintage pets. And they are chiclet pets. I think what I'm down to basically now is everything is working except for one data set. But also, the world of Commodore is coming. And I have signed up to have a vendor table. So I am going to bring some things to sell, starting with some books such as this one, Commodore 64. Oh, hang on. But what does it say? Small business program for the Commodore 64. You know what? I love books. I've got lots of them. But I'm not reading them. I'm not accessing them. So I figure it's time to help other people's libraries expand. There's other things. You know what? This one here. Oh, this is beautiful. This is the Commodore 128 Programmer's Reference Guide. You know what? I have other ones of these. But this one, oh, it's beautiful. So I think this one is staying. But there are other things that I suspect I will sell. And I will be there. I will. So what I really need to do, actually what I really need to do is once again declutter and get things off of here. Books like this that I'm going to sell need to go into a special place, a special box, a special something, or maybe a little shopping bag from No Frills, so I know that they're going. And I will hopefully help expand others' libraries. Excuse me. But what I really need to do also is I'm running out of space here. These pets, I can't get them off of here. I've got to get them figured and sorted, and all. Maybe I'll bring one to show it at the show. Maybe. But anyway, I've got to get the space cleared so I can put another monitor up here and test the two Commodore 64s that I got. I do, and then there's a 1541 needs to be tested, and a Gemini printer, which I have the manual here for. But anyway, I've got to really, as they say, close the deal, work on something, figure it, and if I can't, if I get to where I can't go on, I need to find a place to put it and move on, because like this whole room is now getting to be like other places, and generally what has happened in the past, I get to a certain point and I go, and then I look for another place to work on things, and I start with a nice clear slate, and then it gets all crazy again, and I'm like, and then I look for another place, and anyway, gotta stick to the program, stick to the program. So I'm just looking around here. I thought, oh, wait a second here. Oh, excuse me. Looky. Here is a not recyclable, reusable shopping bag. And in it, I'm going to put these books. Look, Commodore 64 VIC-20 Basic. I'm going to, with great care and reverence, put these in here. And undoubtedly, at some point, oh, here's one. I'm really torn about this one because, boy, it is beautiful. Beautiful. And it's an enhanced version. It is. I will think about that. But these other ones, some of which I have, like here's, oh, 1541. But here, I mean, as I'm selling things, this is what torments me. I don't sell things, but I keep on thinking that if I do sell things, that then I would like to be able to include the manuals with them. But then, of course, I don't sell things, and I end up with all these manuals, and they're not with the devices, and so I think it's time to sell some things. And here's some things. I've got all the pieces together. I'll get some plastic bags, and I'll have to test the discs. But this is supposed to be the hardware soldering room. So what I really need to do is get on it. Now these, oh yeah, these things. Ability System Disk, version 1.2. I have no idea what these are. They're all numbered. And maybe they're just good to be blank discs. I don't know. I'm sure they're an IBM something thing. I would suspect. I will see. I don't know what. They're all numbered. Anyway. All right. Oh, I had somebody comment on. If I can get it out from under the books. The head cleaning kit. And let me say this about that. If you have a 1541 or a 4040 or a 1571 or an 8050 or an 8250 or a 1581 or whatever, and it's working fine, don't touch the heads. Don't do it. If everything is fine, don't mess with it. But if you notice that the activity light starts to flash and it's fighting more to get things in, and these are with discs that you've used before, yes, it is possible that there is some sort of something on the head that is making it more difficult. Long before you ever try to do any alignment or anything, get some alcohol, which I don't have right here, and a cotton swab. I won't use the brand name, just the cotton swab. And if you're in Canada, you know what? Go to Dollarama. They got the best prices on a whole big bunch of that stuff. And the alcohol. And get the drive. This is assuming you're comfortable taking out the screws and getting access to the drive, the read write head. And here's another funny thing. If you have a very, 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 very old 1541, the circuit board is pretty much as long as the entire disk drive. Whereas if you have a later, like the latest version, the board is probably half that size, but it does the same thing. So with the newer drives, which are still old, you can very easily gain access to the head without having to remove the circuit board or loosen the circuit board or undo anything besides the case. Maybe the heat shield or some kind of shield. But, yeah. Anyway, once again, if you're not comfortable doing this, then don't. It's funny, there was a family who has been visiting a couple of times from across the pond, and they were having troubles, and I lent them a disk drive, and we'll see each other at some point, and we'll sort things out. Because their disk drive, I figure the head was just cooked, dead, screwed. So I lent them a disk drive. And they were playing games, but then they started to have more trouble. And see, discs, after they've been sitting for a long time, can get stuff inside the discs, some kind of, I guess, almost like mold. And it doesn't necessarily, you can see it, but it can foul up the heads. So, of course, she called me. We were off in the middle of nowhere at a cottage. They still wanted to keep playing. She didn't have swabs. She doesn't have alcohol. But she did have a first aid kit. And in the first aid kit, there were those little, like, um, alcohol wipes for wounds and things. And I said, I think that just might do it too. Anyway, and I told her what to do, and I told her how, and anyway, they got, and she knows now how to do that, so she is perfect. They've been back now to the country a couple of times, and it's all gone well. But we will meet again, I'm sure. Nice people. Anyway, so if you don't have a bunch of cotton swabs and alcohol, an alcohol wipe from a first aid kit can also do the same thing. But once again, it's one of those things, if it's working, don't touch it. And there are people who say this thing, which is a disc that has an abrasive thing in here instead of like a disc. So here's the other side. It's got like a fabricy thing in there. Some people who absolutely say never, ever, 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 ever. And I've tried it, and I guess it does okay. And certainly if you're not comfortable opening up the disk drive, and you have one of these, I would say go ahead, dump some alcohol, as in not rubbing, 99% alcohol onto those things, and have the drive spin and see if it makes any difference. I prefer the cotton swab and the alcohol. But it's funny, sometime last year, T-Pug was having a fix-it night online, and I wasn't really ready for this, but the fellow who I thought was going to come and show how to fix things didn't show up, so I was trying to, look at 64s and do other things. But somebody came to the meeting, and they had a 1541 there, and it wasn't reading. And I was kind of, in the midst of things, we're kind of listening to what, and they were going to start talking about, doing something with alignment. And I went, whoa, what's going on? And I listened. I said, don't touch the alignment. I have never had great success with alignment on any of the drives. I said, get some sort of thing to clean the head. Don't touch the alignment. It's probably, and indeed, the head just needed to be cleaned. So remember, there are discs that might have corrosion and basically mold and stuff. Now they can be saved. They can, if you carefully take and, let me get a disc here. I don't have scissors, but I could. If you basically very carefully cut down the side, and if you do it down this side with the notch, just cut down the side as close to the edge as you can so you don't hurt the disc. You can literally wash the disc. I suggest warm, not hot, warm soapy water to wash it in, let it soak. You might even have to rub it a little bit gently with something soft, or even just your hand. If you see stuff in there, to get it off, rinse it in clean water, and without using like a clothes peg, which might dent it, find somewhere to just stick it on the middle hole and hang it to dry. And then, yes, you might have to sacrifice, like if you've got other discs that have gone bad and you know that they're not working, you might not want to use the same sleeve as what you took it out of, because chances are whatever the bad stuff is still in there. But you can try it. And oftentimes discs like this can be saved. Warm soapy water, patience, and I'd say let it dry for about a day. Anyway, I've got more tidying to do here, so I will get on it. So I'm starting to gather things for the world of Commodore. November 30th and December 1st of 2024 at the Admiral Inn. Go to tpug.ca. And yeah, it'll be nice to see you there. Have a lovely, lovely day. David Bradley, signing off. Bye for now.